Yes.
your points. Nice.
Stand by.
Good evening. This is the Civil Service Commission Agenda Regular Meeting for January 8th, 2020 at 5 p.m. and I'd like to call this meeting to order. First item on our agenda tonight is for possible action to approve the minutes of the November 14th, 2018 meeting.
Actually, Chairperson, our
Yes.
first item would be public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I skipped that. Went straight to the agenda. So our first item tonight is to take public comment, and we do not have anybody here at this time to speak on the matters. So we'll move on to the agenda. The first item on the agenda, again, is for possible action to approve the minutes of the November 14th, 2018 meeting. If I could have a motion from one of the members.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second by Rick Hunt.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is for possible action regarding the proposed modifications to the Civil Service Rules and Regulations.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners, for coming tonight and reviewing these over since we sent the agenda out to you. As I believe was said in my staff report, basically, we're a member of the Pool PAC. And that is an organization that it began as really a liability insurance that small entities could be a part of, and they would pool their populations together to reduce their costs. It includes workers' compensation for us. It includes all our liability insurance and other insurance. And part of the service that they provide, one of the services they provide, is HR services to include a good template of personnel rules and regulations, which they review on an annual basis for any changes, particularly with respect to Nevada statutes, any changes there, any federal guidelines or statutes that would change. And then HR best practices also. And they review those and change their template, and then we apply it to what we've got here. So the bulk of the changes that we have tonight that we're recommending are presented to us by Pool PAC. And so I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have about these revisions.
Madam Chairman.
No, I was going to say, I'll go ahead, Rick, if you'd like to start that question. I did have one general question, though, Bryce.
Sure.
Does this include all of the recent legislation from our last session?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right. I do have a couple of questions, Bryce, if I may. So on section 1.8.1, talking about the various personnel files, since I work in a human resources office and we all kind of probably do things a little bit differently, I just wanted to ask the question, and at one point it goes into, and it talks about a medical diagnosis, and so that's part of a personnel file. So is that medical diagnosis actually in a separate file as opposed to a supervisor who may be looking to promote somebody, and they open up the file and they're like, oh gosh, I didn't know this, I didn't know this? Or is it off on a separate area?
It's in a separate file completely. And the supervisor wanting to review an employee's file would see just that file. They wouldn't see an FMLA file. They wouldn't see a workers' comp file. They wouldn't see an ADA file. They wouldn't see a medical file. Those are separate files that they wouldn't have a need to know that. So they are separate files, to answer your question.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that. And then on section 2.2.3, talking about the different trainings that the city has, is it for the anti-harassment training, is it on a biannual basis, meaning every other year?
We have done it biannually, yes, although I think we might be behind. We've been trying to get, and Pool PAC provides training, online training also.
Got it.
So for some time, we've been trying to interface ourselves with Pool PAC training, and I think we're there, aren't we, Ms. Martin? Yes, good. So we've achieved that now, and so we'll be able to start assigning that training again. I think we got a little bit behind because of the technical issues that we're trying to overcome, but we've overcome them. And so it would be at least biannually.
Excellent, thank you.
Yes.
And sorry, I only have two more questions after this.
Okay.
On 2.10.15, and there is talking about testing within 30 days for employees. And is this based on the DOT employees?
So the 30 days, that addition is due to new legislation. If someone tests within 30 days and they test positive, they're able to take the as outlined here. And that would be, in our world, there's the employees we test that could potentially be tested in the first 30 days would be CDL owners, commercial driver's license owners. We wouldn't, we don't randomly drug test anyone but CDL employees.
Very good. I just wanted to make sure because that did just take effect as of the first of this
Yes,
year.
sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then last question is on 11.1.3. Do you expect any potential issues with your labor groups on this projected change?
Let me get there.
Sure. 11.1.3. And my ask is just, hey, we've already discussed it with them, and they're in essence in agreement with it on due process.
Oh, so the employee who is covered by a collective bargaining unit may exercise their rights under either the policy or applicable CBA, but not both.
Correct.
Right. So yeah, I haven't talked to them specifically about that. I'd say that's a concept that's been long-standing with us, that
Got it.
both avenues aren't available. Pick one. And if you're represented, your collective bargaining, at the beginning of this document, we say that the collective bargaining agreement dominates this document. If the CBA is silent on an issue, then this document would come into play. But the CBA would be the dominant document over this one. And so if they had a grievance, that would be their avenue of redress.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Bryce.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate that. Madam Chairperson, I have no further questions.
Are there any other questions for Bryce at this time?
Just one. It's not actually a true question, but as I went through the proposed changes, I noticed that what happened is the numbering system.
Yes.
Which is basically housekeeping. Is that something that
Yes.
you are aware of?
Yes, sir, absolutely. The table of contents, the numbering, all of that is a mess. We just wanted to make sure that these changes do go through, and then we'll straighten all that out. You're absolutely right, it's a mess, but we'll fix it once we're all cleaned up.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bryce, I had one other question regarding that. Do we get to see the final product?
Absolutely, I'll provide
Okay.
you that.
Okay,
Absolutely.
great.
From here, if you're so inclined to approve it, then I'll need to schedule something with the city council because they need to approve any changes to the rules also.
Okay, so I guess at this time with the questions answered, you're asking us to make a motion on approving this,
I'd
correct?
appreciate that, yes.
Yes. So I'm going to ask for someone to make a motion to approve the rules.
I'll make a motion to approve the rules as with the changes made.
And I'd like to just clarify that is the civil service rules and regulations. And do I have a second?
Rick Hunt, move to second, please.
We'll move on with our...
We just need a vote, I think, on that one, just to
Do you
make
want
sure.
a
Yeah,
vote?
please.
Okay, absolutely. So all those in favor say aye.
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 Thank
No
you.
opposed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bryce. So our next item on the agenda is for possible action of committee or commission absences, and we've not experienced any, so we'll move through to public comment. And at this time, we have no public to comment. So we will move to adjourn this meeting, and the meeting will adjourn at 5:10 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.